components of the chart. One thing we didn't talk about was what does the ascendant mean? What is the descendant? What is the midheaven? When then completely opposite the midheaven, this MC, is the IC, or the Imum Coeli, which is always opposite. All right, the ascendant, descendant are always opposite each other. The MC and IC are always opposite each other. So the ascendant is what's increasing in the person's life. Okay? These are different from planets. The angles we're not really born with. Okay, like the planets, we're born with them. They're the experiences. The angles tend to be more like what's the environment of our life. Because remember, they're associated with houses, which again are the areas, so the environment. And so what qualities, because there's only a sign associated with these angles, right? There can be planets next to them, and that's a conjunction. We're going to talk about what that means next time. But there's a quality here. So for this person, you can see Libra was the rising sign. So the qualities that this person will be experiencing in their life, and that life is sort of creating for them, is to develop these qualities of Libra. Whether the person develops the Libra qualities or not is up to them, right? It depends on how they approach their life experiences and whether they choose to develop those qualities, but life will certainly unfold in such a way to develop them. So in Libra, for example, life would present itself in a way for this person to develop the understanding of cooperation, harmony, tact, mutuality, having balance and harmony in their life and in their personal relationships. These are the qualities of Libra. So that person will likely see with that understanding, yes, these are the experiences, these are the qualities that are increasing. As the person learns to work with others, have that cooperation, whatnot, they'll start to develop those qualities. So that's the ascendants, what's increasing. And an easy way of thinking about this is oftentimes the ancients would look to the east to see what sign was rising at the time of someone's birth. All right, so someone was born, they look to the east, they see what sign it is, and that's who they're to become, or that's what they're to become. This is what's increasing in the person's life. And that's where they would find, they would see if someone's a king or a pharaoh or someone important or whatever their role would be in the community. Okay? Now, completely opposite that, the descent is what's setting. So this is what's decreasing. So here the qualities of Taurus are what's decreasing. And so the person's often born with these qualities, in fact, because it's showing where we're coming from, not where we're going, but where we're from. And yeah, but they're dissipating, they're becoming less and less. But the thing is that because it's the 7th house, there's an attraction here. Okay, because if you think about it, life, opposites attract. And we're going to look at oppositions next time with aspects, but oppositions attract. It's this magnetic energy. This is what the person values. The person being born with these Taurus qualities of steadiness, slow and steady, resourcefulness, right? That earthly, grounded energy of Taurus. This is what the person values. And because 7th house is what we value, it's associated with relationships, these qualities will be coming through the person's relationships, right? So that's the 7th house, the 7th house cusp. Okay, this is the 1st house cusp. Cusps are basically just the beginning of each of the different houses. Okay, so this is the 1st house cusp, 2nd house cusp, 3rd house, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and onward. All right, so 7th house cusp. That's the most important part where things start to shift. And you can see, particularly in that area, and that it signifies a strong energy about that area. It's the most important, part of that, you could say, but it's an angle. It's an angle. So when things cross this angle, which we'll look at in the transits, things are close to this angle, the descendant, as it's called, it will certainly be influencing, in this case, the person's values, what the person's attracted to, and the person's relationships there. Okay, but that's decreasing. That's the descendant. Now the midheaven, like I was saying, well, actually what I was saying was the 10th house is your career and legacy. Well, the midheaven is very much associated with that too. But it's not necessarily the area, right? So the 10th house is the area of career, and it could be your career. But the midheaven is specifically what you're to also, like the ascendant, become. But it's not become in personality like it is with the ascendant. It's what you're here to actually do. What you're here to accomplish. What is your life legacy? Okay, this is seen by the midheaven. All right, so again, there's only a sign associated with it. There can be planets. Again, we'll talk about that later. But for right now, whatever sign it's in, these are the qualities that the person can be, what the person's legacy is. Right? So in this case, the person's legacy is providing the world, you could say, these qualities of playfulness, creativity, fun. All right, all these Leo things, entertaining. Right, helping people access that inner child, that free-spiritedness, that inner flame of Leo. So that's the midheaven, is what's also increasing like the ascendant, but what the person will achieve through time. And it does take time, just like the ascendant, but specifically with the midheaven, it's the top. It takes time to climb things, it takes time to achieve things, but it'll be these qualities that the person is achieving through their legacy and providing others through their legacy. Okay, so that's the midheaven. The IC, completely opposite that, and like the descendant, is also where we're coming from. Now this is specifically our roots, because it's associated with the fourth house. The fourth house is about our home, family, health, our roots in life. It's the bottom of the chart. That's what the IC symbolizes, even though it might be somewhere else, second to the fifth house, but that's what it is. It's the point where it's where we're coming from. You could even say it's like the entry point of the soul, much like we were talking about the seventh house, like past life, even if you believe in that. Same thing here, but this is the roots, where we're coming from, under the soil, under the earth. Like the midheaven is the leaves of the plant, right? It's the branches, it's the tree itself, which is above the earth. The IC is the roots, everything below the earth, what we can anchor into, where we already are anchored, that we draw energy, that we draw support, right? With the earth, it's supporting, it's the roots, it's strong. That's what the IC symbolizes. So it's past oriented, it's not future oriented in that sense. You can also say it's decreasing, in that the focus will consistently be towards the top, towards the sun, the top of the, the dirt, but definitely always being rooted, and what qualities this person roots themselves in is very important. So in this case, Aquarius, person roots themselves in the qualities of unorthodoxy, individuality, uniqueness, different things, challenging the status quo. All right, those kinds of free-spirited energies of Aquarius. Okay, so I wanted to talk about that because I did not make a video on each of those 4 different things, but I believe they're on the PDFs. But in either case, there you go. Those are what the 4 angles mean. Again, angles are different from planets in that they're not a given. They are just the life experiences that are unfolding in this way, decreasing with the descendant and IC, increasing with the ascendant and the midheaven. But it's drawing from the descendant and the IC. It's drawing from those to go into that ascendant and midheaven.